Welcome back to Joe's Stunner Boxing. I hope you've had a good day. Mine's been relatively painless, but I thought I'd make a quick video about Eddie Hearn because I've been hearing a lot. A lot of people say, a lot of people write, a lot of people do little videos about this subject, how Eddie is becoming a little bit bitter after that sort of first, what was it, nearly 10 years of Sky. Success after success after success, massive amounts of money made, big stars made, life and soul of the party, lots of banter, available to anyone, you know, I'm the greatest promoter in the world, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly with DAZN, of course the DAZN thing started a few years ago when Eddie was still with Sky. And then he moved to DAZN and things have been less carefree. They've been less, it's been less of a sort of ostentatious, hedonistic orgy of success. Why? Well, videos have been made in the past, recent past, one of them by me, talking about this because I think Eddie, because of this massive success that he had with Sky, thought, I don't know, was it a subconscious thing or a conscious thing? Probably an ego thing, either way, that he was the reason for that success and that Sky played very, very little part in it. That Adam Smith and Sky should be grateful to him, Eddie. He'd come along, he was, you know, no one's going to beat me, I'm the hardest working promoter in the world, I do this, I do that, you know, I'm in this country this minute, and then I move to another country within 24 hours and I'm promoting somewhere else, and, you know, Matchroom America, US, Matchroom Spain, Matchroom Italy, you know, non-stop, and the success is mine. Well, Eddie, I think, forgot about the success of, or the aspect of success regarding having the right platform to promote your ideas and to promote your, shall we say it, brilliance? Okay. Because I think Eddie's a really good promoter. You need bricks to build a house. You need the right tools to do any job. And DAZN, as wonderful a concept as it is, does not have the news outlets, the enormous foghorn that's needed to make people pay attention to what you've got to offer. Promotion from Sky TV, Sky Sports, you know, numerous news outlets owned by Murdoch, newspapers, you know, there's Sky in Australia, you know, everything can be promoted through this multitude of media outlets. DAZN don't have it. So Eddie, even though the DAZN cards, I think for the most part have been pretty good, you know, actually some of them have been very, very good, he hasn't been able to get it out there as much as he needs to, wants to, or feels he deserves. Because again, there's a huge ego involved with Eddie Hearn, massive ego. You've always been able to, I mean, come on, the guy's a, you know, he's an Essex boy. He's a used car salesman. In the 80s, we used to get these people ringing up every 5 minutes trying to flog you double glazing, which I believe is how Eddie started, actually. I saw an interview he did with Coogan once talking about that. And these are wide boys. It's all ego, it's all money, it's all about having the nice shoes, the nice clothes, the right label on it, all that shit, all that bullshit, which I fucking hate. It's consumerism. It's, you know, money means freedom, means power, and ultimately it's how you define yourself. Not a philosophy I personally have, but Eddie Hearn is part of that background. It's to do with money. He's a number cruncher. Okay, so suddenly, even though the product's still pretty good, he hasn't got the platform to shout it from the rooftops. As far as the quality is concerned, again, I have no real problem, but let's look at DAZN's finances. I don't know the exact figures. It's been reported that DAZN have made a loss of something like £1 billion. Now, at some point, even though the quality of the product is great, the people that run DAZN they're going to be saying, well, what are we getting for our money? Are we getting anything for our money? I mean, this is all very well having this great sort of, you know, pissing contest with everyone else and being able to piss higher than them, and that's all very well having this endless sort of hedonistic party. But at some point, aren't we supposed to be making some money? Yeah, I reckon we are. And the CEO of DAZN has, bailed Eddie out again, and I think was it $3 or $3.5 billion has been plugged into DAZN. It hasn't done well in the United States. It's probably not done great as well as it was expected to in Britain. So along comes Mr. CEO. He says there's another $3.5 billion. I don't know whether I think that's for boxing. I think that's for the whole sports, the whole DAZN setup. But also Eddie, for the first time, has had to renege on, or even admit defeat, let's be honest, but certainly renege on certain things that have been said before, even though he's been reluctant, very reluctant to do so. The obvious example being the whole, pay-per-view is over. Streaming apps are where it's at. We're gonna, we're putting pay-per-view to bed. This is the new way to go. This is the 21st century way, the modern way of watching boxing. A boxing Netflix, if you like. No, he's had to renege on that. He's had to come back and say, actually, no, not quite true, is it? We've got to have pay-per-view, and for the first time, maybe he's not under the cosh. Well, I suppose he is under the cosh, thinking about it. If you lose £1 billion or you don't make any money, yeah. I think for the first time, Eddie he's not having things his own way, and that's got to bug him, because when you've been sort of drunk on an orgy of success, and you really are flying, I mean, quantum leaps at every turn, then when things don't go your way, when you have to take a step down or a step back or reassess something or accept that something hasn't gone quite how you wanted it to, that's when the ego starts to get, the little ego bubble gets pricked just ever so slightly, and some of the air starts coming out of it. And suddenly, all the interviews are not all about banter. They're not all, cheeky chappy stuff. They're not all, hey, Coogan, how you doing? Let's have a lot. Let me take the piss out of your trousers. You silly old sword. No. Suddenly, it's, my business isn't doing as well as it is. And suddenly the banter isn't quite so funny because things aren't quite going your way all the time. And suddenly some of the insults thrown at you or some of the aspersions that are cast are not, you can't just brush them off because you're so successful. You're thinking, well, I don't know, maybe they've got a point, and what are they implying? And a little bit of bitterness creeps in. I see it in Hearn when I see him interviewed now. I see it. I see there's a steelier look in his eyes. He looks kind of more determined, far more serious. Still has a little bit of a laugh, but not quite as cheeky chappy, not quite as chirpy cheap as he was, not quite as Essex boy, What do you think? Leave your comments below. Eddie Hearn and DAZN. I mean, I think the DAZN cards have been really good. I've liked awful lot of the stuff that's been on it, not just the main events, but the undercards have been good. Far better than some of the Sky undercards have been appalling. But they've got that platform to promote their stuff. Brooke Khan, way past its sell-by date, did good figures. Terrible undercard, but it did good figures. And the perception, and let's be honest here, this is another important point. The perception is often what's important. Because if a certain perception exists for long enough, it can become reality, or people can believe it to be reality. And again, we're talking, propaganda, we're talking, manufacturing consent, Edward Bernays and Noam Chomsky, all the others. We're talking Joseph Goebbels area, If you know your history, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're talking propaganda, essentially. Perception can become, the mainstream narrative, as we frequently see in politics and in social issues. And Eddie doesn't have that big propaganda machine anymore. even though his cards are still very good, still superior, I think, to Queensberry's or Sky's. No, he doesn't have the platform anymore. So yeah, he's going to get a bit bitter. The ego has been pricked. And let me know what you think anyway. What do you think about Hearn? Do you think he's on the ropes? Do you think this is a temporary thing? Is this just a sort of little aberration where he's doing okay really, and it'll all come together? Don't worry, Eddie's a survivor and blah blah blah. Is he getting bitter? Do you think he's getting worn out? The man never sleeps. You know, it's all over the world, isn't he? Every 5 minutes. I don't know. I really think that Eddie he's spread himself so thin for so many years. What is he now, 40? It's got to take its toll, isn't it? I would have thought so. But let me know what you think. Anyway, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this video. I've rambled a bit, but then when don't I? Leave your comments below and hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It takes you a second and it's free and it don't do you no harm. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share the video if you liked it. Hit the dislike button if you hated it. But even if you did hate it, I still appreciate your time. And I always appreciate all your time. Much love to all of you. We shall speak again soon. And you won't get me being bitter. No, no, no. Take a leaf out of my book, Eddie. When you reach my age, you might even look as good as me.